Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Reaction and Review UK, all a part of September month. Now, so far we've hung out with the Goonies, went looking for the Holy Grail, went back to the future, caught some ghosts, rode the blazing saddles, did some sleuthing, so what are we up to this time? Now, I tend to get a lot of flack for liking a certain movie trilogy directed by Michael Bay. I don't like Michael Bay personally, but I'm a fan of the franchise, but let's see if an original movie can do better where Michael Bay has failed. Yes, folks, today we're taking a look at the 1986 Transformers the movie. Oh, wait, in case there's some G1 purists out there, hang on. Transformers the movie. Now, is this a classic that still holds up, and can it still light our darkest hour, shall we say? Well, let's find out, shall we? With that in mind, everybody, grab some Energon. It's time to transform, roll out, and let's watch Transformers the movie 1986. So this is what the Mayans were predicting. Too bad they didn't just say 2005.
Is a little Energon and a lot of luck.
And let's hope we don't get killed off in some contrived notion to sell more toys for a future TV series. For I am Optimus Prime. Starscream, ladies and gentlemen, the hero of the future. Tell his tale to those who ask. Tell it truly, the ill deeds along with the good, and let him be judged accordingly. The rest is silence. Yeah, how can you fit a fucking Devastator inside Astro Train? I call bullshit physics.
Starscream, this is bad comedy.
Megatron, is that you?
Here's a hint.
You know what? This whole movie is a nothing I can say that's already been said. God damn it, man.
Oh shit, what are we gonna do now?
Funny thing, that was not in the original British release. Can't imagine why. I mean, shit's probably the most low-grade swear word you can hear these days on a British high street. Fuck, cunt, wanker, bitch, bollocks. See what I mean? Funny thing, I said the same thing during Tony Blair's war crime trial. I really hate to yell, but you can go to hell! Yeah, I agree with Galvatron on this one. No! Bad choice, Optimus! So, that was Transformers. Right, we'll just put a stop to that there. Now, trying out a new method with this, the review part of this video, because I got a couple of criticisms / feedback from some friends, so I've written some notes as I've been watching the movie, so if you like the way I'm doing it for this review, then let me know and we'll keep doing it this way. First part, I do like the atmosphere the movie has. I mean, when you consider sort of the kid-friendly nature the cartoon series had, I mean, because the Transformers cartoon pretty much followed this status quo. Heroes do something, Decepticons hatch a fiendish plan, Autobots stop plan, the end. The movie really starts off, it has a dark turn. I mean, the ominous approach of Unicron destroying a whole planet, you know, basically killing an entire population and its world. What a great way to start a kids' movie. The soundtrack as a whole. I think this has to be one of my favourite soundtracks to any movie in living memory. Not sure if it's like a hair metal or like a rock and roll type of thing. I mean, I'm probably getting it wrong, but pretty much I love every single song in this movie. Even like the weirder stuff like Dare to Be Stupid from Weird Al, which really seems out of place when you consider some of the other music in the movie. And of course, you know, The Touch by Stan Bush. I think any Transformers fan has to like this song. One of the guilty things about the movie is it just introduces a whole new load of characters. And to be fair, some of the new characters I kind of liked. I mean, Ultra Magnus was a good character. Springer, Arcee, Cub being one of my favourite ones. So the newer characters, I mean, normally when a franchise brings in newer characters, you get, oh god, I hate this character, you know? And I think one of the big highlights of the movie is the fight between Optimus and Megatron. It kind of just went downhill after that, which is a shame. And speaking of downhill, let's get into the complaints. So just to summarise the pros so far, I've written... The atmosphere and setting is pretty dark for a kids' show turned movie. Unicron's theme, the soundtrack, one of the best in movie history, not to mention an amazing remix of the TV series theme. Oh, yeah, actually, that's a good point. Just want to add on that real quickly. The only other time I've heard a decent like remix of a TV show theme has to have been the Pokemon theme, for Pokemon the movie. These two is kind of joint first for me there, but anyway. The attack on Autobot City was the highlight of the movie, and the way it was done, that would make a good sequel to Fall of Cybertron, just saying. Some of the new characters were actually pretty good. The Touch and Prime vs. Megatron. That's the pros. Now let's get into the cons. One little nitpick I have with the movie is they just hired all these big name voices. You know, people like Eric Idle, Leonard Nimoy, Orson Welles, but you knew none of them were going to stick around for the TV series. So it kind of just defeats the purpose. If this was going to like the end of Transformers, there wasn't going to be anything more attached to it, then, you know, fair enough. But the fact it went on, it did feel like a step down. Or, you know, a backstep. Although having Frank Welker back as Galvatron was kind of interesting. But I think the biggest complaint with the movie, that some of you can all agree with, is it just killed off so many fucking characters. And to the point it's just like, you wonder why. Oh, wait, yeah I do, to sell more toys. Because it's no secret that this movie and the Michael Bay trilogy are pretty much just gigantic toy commercials. That's pretty much what they are. Same way you can say the same thing about movies based on G.I. Joe, Care Bears, and My Little Pony. They're just toy commercials. Guilty pleasure toy commercials, mind you, but that's not over it. But it really just, like, the characters they killed off, I mean, I can understand killing off, like, for example, like Wheeljack or Starscream. I can sort of understand that. Killing off Optimus Prime, I mean, that takes some balls. Yeah. Granted, it's kind of become like the main thing that Prime has to die in each and every continuity out there, but wow, I mean... Okay, granted I never saw this movie as a kid, but I remember people telling me that they were fucking crying, and even some kids even had to leave the theater because of that scene. Although Dinobot's death was better, just saying. I still think it's funny this movie is set in 2004. But that's just a minor nitpick at you. But going on the whole toy commercial complaint, the movie does at times feel like a gigantic circle jerk because it just throws all these characters at you. I mean, sometimes it just throws characters into the movie, and they're in there for about maybe 5 minutes, 2 minutes even. And characters like Blitzwing gets one major scene and he's done. The Insecticons get one major scene, then they're done. The Dinobots, in theory, I mean, granted they had a lot to do, but Devastator had this huge scene, and a minor scene later on, and then he was done. Like, if you're not going to use these characters to their full potential or their full impact, then don't put them in the movie. I think this movie threw in every single character except for Snarl, which was kind of strange. It had all the Dinobots except for the Stegosaurus. Gives me the impression that he may have been killed off in that 20-year gap in the series, if you know what I mean. But, yeah. I just felt like it just threw characters in for the sake of having it. There's this underlining theme of Star Wars references. In the UK release of the movie, I think the version I watched had a new opening and a new ending, because it's not the opening and ending I remember to it. In the British opening, it had like a Star Wars like text scroll. Arcee pretty much having the hair buttons, and let's face it, Unicron is the Death Star. Let's just not kid ourselves. Not sure if that was intentional to have a Star Wars references in there, but if, you know, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, I guess. The whole movie, in my opinion, it should have focused on the attack on Autobot City. That alone would have made a fantastic movie. I mean, just expand upon that, and therefore give all the characters all the time to develop, and then maybe make the sequel about Unicron. Just saying, because I was more invested in the fight in Autobot City. I mean, I didn't give two shits about Hot Rod or Galvatron and that stupid shit. Speaking of which, fucking Hot Rod. Oh, I've never met a character that has been more universally despised than Hot Rod. Oh wait, Wheelie. Never mind. But yeah, it just felt forced. You know, like, oh, this is going to be the new hero, but like Optimus Prime, he's like the greatest, one of the greatest leaders of all time, and you're going to replace him with this rookie kid. You fuck off, Hasbro. I mean, I'm glad I didn't repeat that mistake in the Bayformer movies, but, I mean, Hot Rod, I mean, he's a likeable character. I mean, you could sort of get behind him, but it's just, I will not forgive him for what he did. Never. There's a couple of animation errors in the movie, and one glaring animation error that sticks out in my mind is when Unicron begins reformatting Galvatron and his minions, you clearly see Skywarp and Thundercracker being reformatted into Scourge and a version of Cyclonus, I guess. But when you cut to Starscream's coronation, they're suddenly there in the background. And I think the Insecticons were there too. It's like, didn't you guys just get... I mean, I could go into other, like, minor, like, nitpicks of, like, irregularities. I mean, the Constructicons, you know, blowing trumpets when they don't actually have lungs to make air, but that's just nitpicking. And other people have pointed that out before. And the last complaint I have is Wheelie. Pretty much next to Hot Rod, he's the most annoying fucking... No, actually, that's the wrong word. Hot Rod wasn't really annoying, but Wheelie is fucking annoying. I think he is one of the single most hated characters in the Transformers fandom, and it really shows, guys, after seeing it after all these years. I mean, there's other bits and pieces I can get into. The story does what it needs to, but let's just highlight the cons before we wrap this up. The cons are hiring big names to play characters, for you know none of them will stick around for the TV series, killing so many characters just to replace them with less than satisfactory characters, lol 2005, it's a cinematic toy commercial, it throws practically every character at you, meaning some of them don't have enough screen time, or Snarl didn't get any at all. Star Wars references, mainly in Arcee and Unicron. The whole movie should have been about the attack on Autobot City. Hot fucking Rod. Animation errors, seeing Skywalker for the Cracker being reformatted, you know, seeing Starscream's coronation, and Wheelie himself. So those are all the pros and cons. So overall, can I recommend you check out this movie? It's one of those you have to be in the right mindset, right mood for it. You can find this movie really cheap as chips. This is a special edition version, which I'll put back in its nice little display box. It comes with two versions. One, the version I watched for this was a digitally remastered version, and it even comes with a second disc that has the original movie in its original aesthetic. Includes a bunch of DVD extras, but let's go over it. You can find it really cheap as chips on Amazon Play. Maybe you can see a version of the movie on Netflix, and there is a version on YouTube, which you can find amongst yourselves. Has it passed the nostalgia test? I forgot to mention that at the beginning. It's halfway, because it's not as fantastic as I remember it being. It's still watchable, but it's starting to show its age a little bit. I mean, it is the year 2005. Yeah, but it really didn't light my darkest hour, but I guess I could watch it, you know, in the future, but patting this out now. Bottom line, it's okay. Probably on par with the first Bayformers movie. That's blasphemy, and I apologize for that. With that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of another Reaction and Review UK. We have one more episode for September month, and you probably already know what it is. So until next time, everybody, take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Peace.
One shall stand, one shall fall.
Nothing.
Why throw away your life so recklessly?
That's
a question you should ask yourself, Megatron.
Can
No! I'll crush you with my bare hands!
say
I've got to help Prime!
that's
Stay away, lad. That's Prime's back.
already been said.